In the previous chapter, we analyzed the fact that the expression of the genetic behaviors is produced through the activity of a DNA, helicase enzyme, similar to the corrective one that acts after the occurrence of mitosis. That is why I have deduced that this reading enzyme originates from a slight mutation of this same corrective enzyme. Accordingly, it is understood that the energy signals corresponding to the information collected by the sensory neurons are sent to the brain with which they are connected by means of their axons. There they cross the corresponding synapse and penetrate into the brain neurons whose function is to be dedicated to their storage. There these signals which make up the accurate information are stored in the field of hydrogen atoms that join the two strands of the DNA that make up the genome of neurons. Precisely, the energy received is protected in the electron of these hydrogens, thanks to the action of suitable DNA helicase enzyme. This storage corresponds to that thought by quantum physics. Then the electrons of the atom can store the quanta of photons they receive and then emit them like the battery. What corresponds to the photoelectric whose study won the Nobel Prize to Albert Einstein. In this occasion, it should be taken into account that it is due to the porosity of the insulating membrane that covers the core that these energy signals penetrate inside it. In view of that, it follows that, like genetic reading, enzymes travel the genome to make genetic readings. An enzyme that the eye recorders travel the section corresponding to its function of the genome of neurons to perform the storage of the memorized. Therefore, it is transferring these energy signals captured in the electron of the hydrogen bonds or link electrons, which join the two nucleotide chains that make up the genome of the neuron of this human being. Then I shall call this phenomenon, which allows the inscription of the information captured is in the genome of the neuron, E of the recording, and its execution, the event of record. In consequence to the variation of intensity of difference of potential and of frequency of the incoming energy signals. Some electrons receive and conserve more energy than others, or sometimes they receive nothing. From here, it is understood that say enzymes go recording in the genomes of the neurons successively as they penetrate into the memory concerned, or the energy signals receive, practically in the same way that something is recorded on the magnetic tape of a recorder. The non-occurrence of these kinds of phenomenon on a continuous basis would mean that a certain kind of perception would not be memorized, which would imply that it would have to know previously to its initial captured that something should not be learned. That is to say, that one would have to ignore something before knowing its existence, which is absurd. That is why it is understood that everything perceived is memorized. In the next article, I shall explain how it takes place, the remembrance of what has learned and learned. This article is based on my research, the studies and clarification that help to understand it can be found in Le fonctionnement du cerveau, the functioning of the brain, which I have published in Amazon.com books. This article is based on my research, the studies and clarifications that help to understand it can be found in le fonctionnement du cerveau, which the functioning of the brain, which I have published in Amazon.com books.